Jasper loves them. I've learned to love them.
Right, I'm going to give you an extra big tick. I'm going to make sure we play every track from your album. It's a bit complicated over the course of time because you've said you enjoy the Bruce.
Who doesn't?
Well, you'd be surprised, my friend, you'd be surprised. Eddie, we have to crack on because we've got news to get to, and I want to squeeze in Barbara and Ernie, an old sort of oddball R&B tune from a while back. But I really appreciate you coming in, it's great. And as I say, I really like the album. It's a bit complicated, from Art Brew, which is available now, and so it's worth digging out. And thank you very much indeed. Little round of applause, please, in the Steve Wright style for Eddie Argos. From the early 70s, Play With Fire from an album called Prelude 2 by guitarist Ernine Calabria and soul singer Barbara Massey, known as Barbara and Ernie. Back after the news. Franz Ferdinand, This Fire on the Steve Show, BBC Six Music, with me, Stephen Merchant. Next week is the penultimate show for a while because I have to go away and do other shows. Next week?
This week's the penultimate.
This week's the penultimate. Next week's the last one.
It's the ultimate. Yeah.
Okay, that is the ultimate show next week. Yes, okay, so let's just clarify that. Right, this week is the penultimate show. Next week, that's it. That's your lot for a while, for about a month or so, while I go off and do other important things. And I don't know who the replacement is, I can't remember, but I'm sure it'll be someone, hopefully, with not much talent, so that no one realises that they're better than me and they don't give me the show back. That's always a big worry, I think you'll find. It's always interesting to see who fills in for other people. It always gives you a sense of the security of that particular DJ. So I'm hoping maybe it's just some competition winner is doing it. So we don't know yet, but so we're going away. So next week, hopefully, it will be a full house. We've got Dan and Sammy this week. Hopefully we'll have Harry back next week, and also super posh Rufus. And actually, I was mentioning to Dan earlier, I was talking to a super posh fella, a guy who's even posher than Rufus last night. Lovely man. Lord. Yeah, I mean, if such a thing is possible.
I didn't realise he was even posher than Rufus. That's extraordinary.
Crazily posh. Lovely man. But at one point he said to me, what school did you go to? And I thought, I shouldn't say the local comprehensive. That's not the answer he's looking for. But he said, I saw you on the BAFTAs, sat next to, what's his name? Jeeves. And I went, Stephen Fry. Yeah, that's right, yeah, Stephen Fry. I love the fact that you're so posh that when you see Stephen Fry, you think of him as Jeeves first before you think of his own name. And what you're thinking is, who is that fella? It's Bertie Wooster's manservant. Oh, dear old Bertie. It's just, but he was lovely, and so we'll have Super Posh Rufus back next week. For Full House and for the ultimate show.
The ultimate show.
The ultimate Steve show. Dan, you have not chosen a tune for us yet today, so
no.
You up next. What have you got for us?
Thank you, Marcia Griffiths, Feel Like Jumping. You may not know this, it's a little bit of reggae, Steve.
Right.
And you'll be thinking, why reggae? Well, you don't play very much on the show, so there is a risk of it seeming a little bit token, but it's just a tune that I've picked up in my collection. I think it's really good. I'm not one of these cool people on Radio 2 who know loads about reggae, because I don't, but this is a great little tune. And it's also, we've reached a point where you realise we're not going to get a summer. It's not going to happen this year. So this is a kind of a tribute to the summer we've never had.
Beautiful. Marcia Griffiths, Feel Like Jumping, the choice of Tiny Titch on today's Steve Show.
Hi there.
I hope that's going to stick. I hope your family start calling it when you go home for Christmas.
Yeah, they probably will.
Here's a little gift for you, Titch.
Yep.
It's a shoe in which you can live.
My life is over, isn't it?
It's
over.
It is.
As a result of this. Never mind.
If you ever see Dan in the street, or check out his face on the website, and then shout out at him at football games. He'll love it.
Yeah.
No, that starts to sound a bit cruel and mean, so...
oh, right, you've realised that now.
Let's not do that.
All the other abuse, that was fine.
That was fine.
That's going too far.
Yeah. Sammy, you were just mentioning something to me there, and I feel that it's dubious to discuss on the radio, but I want closure.
Right, I've got an appeal to anybody who may know this. I was walking with my mum yesterday, and it was pouring down with rain.
For people in the south, mum.
I was walking with my mum yesterday, pouring down with rain. I was saying, do you know what, I've seen so many slugs, snails, things like that, of that bent because of the rain. And then I said, actually, I was driving last night, saw hundreds of hedgehogs, and living ones as well, I normally see dead ones, hundreds of hedgehogs scuttling around, so they're obviously benefiting from the slugs and snails. I said, so what's benefiting from the hedgehogs? What's the natural predator of the hedgehog? My mum, quick as a flash, gypsies. I just thought she was being funny, laughing. She went, no, seriously, go home, ask your dad.
That font of knowledge.
So, went home, Dad, what eats hedgehogs? Gypsies. Now, I sat there thinking...
What, straight off, quick as a flash?
Just quick as a flash, like it was completely normal. Now I think they've colluded behind my back just to fill my head with nonsense. Right, if she asks any question, this is the answer. We'll pretend like nothing happened. Does anybody out there know this? Because they both claim they bake them in clay so the spines come out and then you can eat them like you can eat any other creature. Is this true?
Because I'm worried horrifically dubious.
I know, it really does, but I'm worried that my parents are, like, conspiring behind my back to make my life a bit worrying. No.
Are Sammy's parents racist? 64046
My dad is a
Stephen.6music at
gypsy
bbc.co.uk. I don't know what trouble we're going to get into. It's like the BBC are already in enough trouble, and now we're asking, do certain people cook and eat hedgehogs? All right, let's ask the question: does anyone cook and eat hedgehogs? Let's not worry about gypsies necessarily. I mean,
I'm sure you can't.
I don't think anyone can. 64046 if you have an answer to that important question. Maybe the person that can help us is Richard, our caller. Each week, of course, we get people on the line to introduce music to me. Obviously, I like to have new music played for me. And Richard's on the line, hopefully calling from Norwich.
Hiya, Northwich.
Northwich?
It's in Cheshire, yeah.
Oh, you know, it's there's a nor and a witch in it. You know, I'm a busy man. I haven't got time to read entire words. Do you have any idea if anybody eats hedgehogs?
I've never eaten a hedgehog myself.
No.
Never seen anyone eat a hedgehog, but...
You've never heard of it being baked in clay so its spikes fall out or something?
No, I haven't heard that, but... No,
Good.
there's no gypsies near me, but there's not been a huge amount of hedgehogs scuttling about.
Right, which is... Yeah, so if that is their natural food source, that's why they're
maybe
not...
it follows, man.
Oh, this is just so rude. This is just outrageous. Okay, stop. Let's not talk about this anymore. Richard, tell us something pleasant and nice about yourself.
Well, I'm just... I'm living in Northwich, as you know.
Yeah.
Unit at Nottingham.
Yeah. Are you at university at Nottingham? What are you studying?
Yeah. I do management with Chinese studies.
Management with Chinese?
Yeah.
Okay, now is that management with Chinese people? Or is it,
no.
or is it it's management with a side order of Chinese?
There is a few Chinese people in my class, so it's kind
I
of
see,
both,
right. But it's two separate subjects.
Yes,
It's not
just
how to manage
studies,
Chinese
and
people.
And I do Mandarin as well.
So can you speak Chinese?
A little bit.
This is such a thrill for me because the Chinese language, you know, it's a beautiful to look at on the page. It's beautiful, but I wouldn't know where to even start. It seems like it doesn't seem to have any correlation with sort of Western languages. Am I right in saying that?
Well, yeah, I've been doing it for a year, and I'm still kind of in that position. So,
Really?
yeah.
And so, do you have to sort of develop your skill for Chinese in order to do any jobs that might lead on in the future that you're working towards?
I'm not like necessarily looking to do anything like that, but I just kind of like just doing it just because it's kind of interesting. And well, I'm spending my second year in China, so
Right, so that'll help you. It's always good to you know, be in the country and improve.
I hope so. It's probably going to be a bit daunting at the start, but
It's because when I used to study French and we'd go to France, I was too shy to ever say, you know, où est le syndicat d'initiative. So I never knew where the Tourist Information Bureau was. I didn't know if it was Tournier Gauche or Tournier Droit or Allée tout droit. I had no idea. That's the sum total of my French. I try now always to travel with people that can speak better languages than me. Do you feel brave enough to speak some Chinese right now?
well, I don't know. What do you want to know? I don't know.
Well, it depends how confident you feel.
What's the correct pronunciation of bus in Chinese?
Oh God, I've no idea about that. Sorry.
Because I know, because there's an intonation that you've got to do, and I don't get it right. And if you don't get the intonation right, they don't understand you at
that's
all.
the thing. I'll probably drive away your Chinese listeners if I speak. Probably absolutely ruin it. So.
Well, what's the first sentence that you feel comfortable, that springs into your head, that you feel comfortable to say?
Don't know. You could say ni hao, which is hello, which is always
Ni
useful.
hao, okay.
Yeah.
And
Don't know. You could, and then if you say like I am Stephen Merchant, you say Woshi Stephen Merchant.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
What was it again?
Well, you could say Woshi Stephen Merchant.
Right, I'm just going to write that phonetically. Woshi Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
Fluent. Do you feel confident enough to introduce the track that you are going to play for us?
Definitely not.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, just do it in classic English.
So this is a band called Stateless.
Okay.
And is it Prism's track or?
Prism is the one we've got here.
Yes.
And what can you tell me about Stateless, if anything?
Well, I mean, I only discovered them about a week and a half ago, and then I can't remember. I was just looking on a music website, and they just mentioned them as a good band to look out for. So I went on MySpace, started listening to some of the stuff. The album came out this week finally, and I really enjoyed it. So I kind of wrote into yours to see if you wanted a listen.
I definitely do. Let's hear it. Stay there, Richard. We'll come back to you in a second after we've heard the tune. The band is Stateless, and the track is Prism #1, and it's a choice of our caller Richard, who's calling from Northwich. Richard, there's a general consensus in the studio that we've enjoyed that tune enormously.
Oh, good, fantastic.
Thank you very much indeed for suggesting it.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
Can I just
played
check?
it.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just such a courteous group of people. It's lovely. Thank you as well. Thanks again. Can you confirm, as a Chinese expert, you know that piece of music, ding 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 ding, ding ding ding? Is that the Chinese national anthem? Because I don't know. I assume it's come from China. It's the music I associate with China.
Yeah, it's probably the national anthem.
That's
I don't really know.
good. Well, that's from a guaranteed Chinese expert. Can I just also check that you're not a BBC employee? I don't want I want people to know that you're actually a stranger. We've never met. You're not a stooge calling from another room in BBC.
No. I'm genuinely from Northwich. Yeah, not
And
the BBC.
you're actually called Richard, and you
Yeah,
don't work
yeah,
for our
yeah.
production team, and you've
No.
not won a prize.
No, not won a prize.
Definitely not win a prize. Good. All right. So that's a guarantee for the first time in BBC broadcasting history, an actual person on the line. What a thrill, Richard. Thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate it.
Could I ask a short favour?
Yes.
Could you just say hello to my friend Ben?
To your friend who? Sorry, Ben.
Ben, yeah, he was out last night and he's feeling a bit worse for wear this morning.
Okay.
You know? So could you just say a quick hello to him?
Sure. And he's feeling a bit worse for wear. Got a bit of a hangover.
Yeah, he's a bit of a whitey.
All right.
Yeah, cheers.
Alright, Ben! How's it going, mate? Good night, was it? Really enjoy that.
I love that. Thank you very much.
Not at all. Thank you very much indeed for calling.
Cheers for that.
Cheers. So if you are a caller who's got an interesting tune that you'd like to recommend, something that you've not heard on the show before and that you think I might enjoy, you can get in touch. Go to the website www.bbc.co.uk/6music and you can work your way around and you can get it from Tom Waits. Theme music from a fantastic HBO TV series called The Wire, which I think is being repeated on the FX channel this week, and if you've not seen it, you have to watch it. There's lots of stuff about it in the press. It's just one of the most extraordinary television programmes ever. We have pretty much got to wrap it up, because we're fast approaching the end of the show. I love using that phrase. And we wanted to just clear up this scandalous nonsense about gypsies eating hedgehogs. What information do we have, if any, Dan?
Well, definitely it seems that it's a dubious rumour. David Warrington's been on the email. He says he thinks it's an urban legend, but he does think baking them in clay is an ancient medieval recipe, often used by Ray Mears on his survival programmes.
Okay, well that's good news.
They do have a natural predator as well, the badger. The badger, not necessarily
Who'd
the
have thunk
gypsy.
it?
The badger.
So the badger is the natural predator of the hedgehog, we think, and not gypsies.
The badger's also the natural predator of the boiled egg as well, which I discovered a few weeks ago.
I'm afraid, I just wish we
haven't
had
got
time for
We
more
haven't got
clarification on that, but we don't, I'm afraid. I also wanted to thank all the various sorts that have been in today, of course. We have had Eddie Argos
nice guy.
from Art Brut. He was a lovely bloke, and his album, It's a Bit Complicated, with his band, is out at the moment. And as I say, I think it's cracking, and we've played a few tunes in the past, so that is worth checking out. Also, Kirsten O'Brien was in. She has an Edinburgh show called Confessions of a Children's TV Presenter, which is also entertaining, and that will be in Edinburgh. I've just got the details here. From the 1st to the 27th of August, so you've got a month when you're not watching Prince at the O2 Centre to go up to Edinburgh and catch her in her show. She's at 2:10 in the Pleasance Cellar in Edinburgh during the festival. And that's essentially it. We'll be back next week for one last show before we go on a
the ultimate
Steve show. Before we go on some kind of hiatus. And then we'll be back. Will we be back after the hiatus?
Who knows? Depends on the replacement, doesn't it?
It does.
How
See, if
good
they find
is
someone
going to be
who's dynamite, then we'll be gutted and we'll be devastated. So perhaps this is going to be one of the sort of penultimate shows ever. Who knows? But hopefully we'll be back. I don't think Six Music's got anyone else. So well, thank you to Dan, and thank you very much indeed to Sammy.
Goodbye.
And as I say, we will be back next week on Six Music with our penultimate show before our little break. See ya. Produced by Bernard Butler, that's Glasgow band The 1990s and the single See You at the Lights, which came out in April. And the reason I kickstart today's Steve show with that is today we're only playing songs that we have stumbled across since we came on air back in January. Was it January? Yes. Yeah. And it seems such a long time ago now, and we've long since exhausted amusing chat, and now we're just recycling old material that we did in the early days, January and February, knowing that most of the listeners who were listening then almost certainly won't be listening now.